All right, all right. So we are back into the code, and let's resume from where I left. So subpass description, right? So the last time I was writing some code, we were talking about the render pass. So render pass is made by attachment and subpasses, but not only, as well as something else that I cannot reach due to these errors, and dependencies. So we are not talking about dependencies right now. So we will just leave them as they are. And we finish working on our subpass description, which has input attachments, attachment references. So this is an attachment reference, which is this thing here. We only have one input attachment, and that is render pass reference for the color attachment, which is the number 0. So the order in which we define this stuff is then the order at which it will get referenced. So we only have one reference, which is the attachment 0. Only have one, and it has a layout. So what is the this layout about? By the way, I guess my webcam got stuck somewhere. Let's try to get it out and back in. It is not working. Let's see. Here it is. Noise. Okay. So I think I left some of the documentation about the attachment reference. I thought I had a tab with that opened, but it seems like that didn't happen. So I am going to grab one and let's see. So we've got attachment reference. Says attachment is either an integer value with a corresponding index in render path attachments. Okay, that has been made clear here. Or wiki attachment unused. Signify that attachment is not used. I'm wondering what is the purpose, but I just found out that my microphone wasn't even attached to my neck. Okay, fair enough, we can fix that. And the audio should get better instantly. Yep, yeah, it should be better now. Cool. So what about the layout? Is a VK value specifying the layout of the attachment layout of the attachment uses during the subpass. During the subpass, so they must not be undefined. Okay. It must not be preinitialized, present, or a depth, or a stencil. It must not be any of these. Okay, not really much about this structure really, but this defines the layout of the attachment, specify the layout the attachment uses during the subpass. During the subpass, which means it is going to be the color attachment, and that is it. We've got our attachment, our render path plugged into the pipeline. Are we missing anything else from the pipeline? No, we aren't. So that's it. We just made it. That was a really long journey to get this pipeline. But we have to fix some stuff right now. So what is the problem? So it wants only floats, so I guess this might be the issue. Conversion from uint. This might be a uint. And that should fix. We've got another problem here. Need to convert this one as well, uint 32. And we want everything to be zero warning, so we can focus on errors rather than having a pile of warnings around. using an initialized device memory. I mean device family, which is not an initialized, which will be 0. Or we could initialize it as do we have family external, something like family invalid? And there is one error. Using on a 4-byte value and then casting the results to 8-byte value, cast the value to the wider type before calling operator. Okay. So what does this take? It's a diff. So I guess what is a diff? The diff type. Unsigned long count. So that is going to be (64). And that gets rid of the error. There is still an error. Okay. So what about running this? What could possibly go wrong? Let's do it. And obviously something went wrong. We don't have the shader. Why is that? Shaders, triangle vert dot spear v, and this is triangle vert dot spear v. And why this can't open it? What is the problem? Shaders, triangle vert SPV, which is definitely here. Triangle vert SPV. Shaders. why. Oops, that's why. If not, you shouldn't throw an error when it successfully opens it. That's dumb. So it's definitely taking very long. End of input reached while decoding. Okay. I think we are in a big trouble. This is not responding, so that means the whole application will crash soon. Oh, no, it didn't. Lucky enough, it did not. And at this point, it's time to investigate. Size 844. Which when divided by 4 is 211. Okay. So the size is 211 and the buffer points to some data. Let's see. Probably need some more information about this structure. Code size in bytes. So yeah, that is in bytes, not in words. So we don't need this to be resized to something else. And what about simple char? So we don't need any reinterpretation at this stage, but this will happen eventually here. Okay. So here we are, size, and that's it. And yes, that's it. What just happened here? So something definitely happened before reaching that point. So let's stop there. And okay, we are not getting any error so far. which is good. Boom. Okay, so we are failing already at this stage. It says the draw state invalid image layout for input attachment is correct, but can only be read only of what? Wait. So layout for input attachment 0, message number 0. So layout for input attachment is VK color attachment optimal. Read only optimal. What? Attachment. So load operation, validate, create, render pass. Attachment 0 is first used as input attachment in subbus 0 with load op clear. The Vulkan spec states if the first use of an attachment in this render pass is as an input attachment. Okay. So no input attachments, right? Yeah, why am I even doing that? Don't need any input attachment. Color attachment, not input attachment. Damn it. So what I needed to specify is instead the color attachment count and the pick color attachment, not the input attachment. Then we've got resolve attachment, depth stencil attachment, preserve attachment, things that I don't even have any idea of what they are. So let's just move on and restart this again since we messed up that thing. And as expected, we are now super clean about it. So let's load the modules, and that is clean as well. Get all the create infos you need. Time for the truth. Boom. And we get our pipeline. Yes, we have a clean pipeline ready to be used. Super clean. And now, since we are here, remember the bleed operation we have done earlier? Good. We could possibly keep that and instead of clearing, so instead of having the load operation as clear, we load what was in the frame buffer so that we can have the bleated image in there. And now let's get back to this. Initial layout is going to be color attachment. Does that mean that someone will, the render pass will move? Let's see if it's the render pass that will change the layout, or it expects to have that layout. Initial layout is the layout the attachment image sub resource will be in when a render path instance begins. Is the attachment image sub resource will be transitioned. Oops. When the render path instance ends. So I'm wondering, how can we perform the transition? And I guess the answer is dependencies, subbus dependency. And let's go for it. So from external or vk external, okay, let's keep this in mind, so we will get back to it later when the error pops up. And at this point we are going to start drawing. Begin a render pass. render pass begin info, which should only contain a very simple structure, which is render pass frame. Well, no, actually is some info that we need to provide. Also, frame buffer. We need to create the frame buffer. So we forgot about it, and at this stage we have a pipeline, a shader module, layout. We don't need any descriptor set because we have no data to pass to the shader. We have a render pass, and we still need a frame buffer to link to the swap chain. So let's do this. Here we have commands, and when do we create the frame buffers? Maybe here. Create frame buffers. Device create frame buffer, unique, and this will only create one frame buffer. vk frame buffer create info. Frame buffer flags, literally no flags, imageless, interesting, an imageless frame buffer. Then the render pass. So the render pass we need to specify here again. Not quite sure why. The attachment counts. So attachment is equal to 1. An image view array for the attachments, which is, this doesn't work because we need to iterate over the swap chain images. Let's see if placing the frame buffer creation here will work. And the image is swap chain images I ref Okay, we need the image view. Have we created any image view for swap chain? Not really, so we need to do that. Device, create image view. Well, actually that needs to happen here. So vk image view unique image view and this creates a unique object. So instead of having them there, we need to vectorize, otherwise at the end of the loop they will get destroyed. Unique frame buffer, frame buffers, and this is the size we need. And image view. Swap chain views. So swap chain views is equal to device create image view unique, which gets an swap chain view info, or let's just call it view info. Stupid allergy. VK image view create info, view info, this is going to be a few flags that we need to sort out. So first of all is the image, which is swap chain image I. Then we have the image view type, image view type, which is vk image view type, which is 2D. View info dot format, which is a swap chain info format. Component mapping, here's the component mapping, which is by default identity, so we can leave it as it is. sub-resource range. Which is a VK. Well, we can do it inlined. The aspect is aspect color. Base array layer 0, base MIP level 0, layer count is 1, and level, what is level? Level count. What is level? MIP level. Level count is 1. Okay, swap chain views, image view, a unique one, a unique image view. So we've created the image view. Now we can link them together. So attachments wants a reference to get. Is it good? So are we done with the frame buffer? Now we need to specify width, which is swap chain info dot or surface caps extend width and height is surface cap dot current extent dot height, and the number of layers is 1. Cool. We have the image view for the swap chain. We have a frame buffer. So to begin, so it's time to begin the render pass. And render pass is the render pass. So again we specify the render pass, and I don't really understand why we need to specify everything over and over again. I mean, the frame buffer already has the render pass baked into the creation of it. So get that. Render area So the render area dot extend is surface caps dot extend, and again the render area dot offset is 0. Clear value count, we have one clear value. Do we have to provide this info? Let's see. Is a pointer, the number of elements, okay. Attachment responding. Seems like we can ignore this. And there you go. What? You don't like this? Subpass contents. What is a subpass contents? Oh, okay, it's just VK sub pass contents inline, and that's it. We begin the render pass, and we should also end it at some point. That's it, right? Let's see if we get any error by just doing it so. In fact, we do get some errors. Alright, we didn't even store the frame buffers. Let's see if that was the error. Yep. So that was the error. And we get much more. So you cannot start a render pass using attachment 0, where the render pass initial layout is VK image layout color attachment optimal, and the previous known layout of the attachment is transfer destination optimal. The layout must match or the render pass initial. Okay, good. So let's see if we can fix you cannot transition on the layout of aspect 1 level 0 from which image destination of the one the previous known is as source. Okay, one thing at a time. So we did the bleed, and what we could do is first move the pipeline barrier and instead of present, the new layout will be color attachment, and that will happen at the color attachment output stage. So by where this is needed, it should be in the right stage, and in fact that works nicely. However, we don't see any triangle. Well, that is because we're not drawing any yet. Let's ignore all of these errors because they are only because of global objects floating around and being destroyed without any control. So we forced a barrier to do the job for ourselves, but instead of using a pipeline barrier, I want to try to use the dependencies. So what is a dependency? It does pretty much like that. So it makes things transition from one layout to another. Subpass dependency. So VK subpass dependency come on, pass dependency on the color. So what do we need to provide to this structure? Source subpass. So we are coming from at the outside, so this will be X subpass external. Then the destination subpass is going to be the 0 one. Is it 0? Let's see. Subpass dependency subpath index. And that is probably 0. Okay, then pipeline stage mask. Source stage mask. Dependency flags. So let's see what we are trying to do here. Dependency flags. Access flags. What are we trying to do here? I have no idea. So that doesn't quite work as I expected. So let's see, render path. Let's see. I am not quite sure about this. It's your responsibility to make sure it really has a specified layout of the synchronization and are required. Let's see. Memory dependency. Pipeline barrier. What the hell? Layout transition. Render pass. Undefined. Subpass layout. Okay, this might be something useful. Render subpass layout specification. color attachment. Okay. So will this mean that it is going to move subpass definition straight forward, and it would be more interesting if we were doing multiple subpasses? Undoing, okay, pre-process, but here the subpass definition. Okay. So this is it. So let's say we will find it in the initial layout. Is going to be undefined, but not undefined, maybe general. Let's say we don't really care. Destination. Kind of trickier here. So this is actually useful, and it seems like the only way is to have it in the right layout. So that being said, okay, we've got render pass. Now we are going to bind our pipeline. Okay, pipeline bind the point, which is going to be graphics, and the pipeline. That's it. We've got the pipeline, and we can now draw three vertices, one instance. First vertex is 0, first instance is 0, and that's it. You're gonna do a great job, aren't you? We've got the triangle. My God. We've got the triangle. We've got the triangle. We've got a fucking triangle. Which has a weird color though. That is a weird color. Why is that? Because we made it so. Let's change the color, please. There you go. A very reddish red, but centered, which means that where's the triangle vertices? First one is 0. The second one is x1, so there it is. And the third one has the y that is going downwards. So we need to flip the y. So let's get it to the center. Minus 0.5 to go upwards. So that will be this one that goes over here. And then 0.5 and 0.5. Minus 0.5, and let's leave that at 1. And yes, this is it. Minus 0.5. What? Zero 0.5. Okay, we get a nice red triangle in the center. We have the triangle. Damn, it took like 2 days to get that red triangle, which is not even doing anything at all. So there we go. Let's get to the code. Commit. Save everything and ignore the sphere V's. Oh, it was here with another identity though. Let me fix this real quick. Close. Shaders. this one. Okay, remove that and use this one. Save it. Reopen the project. And we should have our shaders in the right place. Cool. Update. Clean it up. Neat. Boom. Draw red triangle. And I think this can end the stream for today. So in the next stage, I will try to get some data into this really dumb shader. Let's try to get some uniforms and maybe also the color of the triangle. So transformation uniform and color of the triangle. Cool. See you.